So we're out here on the trap line this morning. I've already gone back the other direction and pulled that trap. It's kind of a disappointment. I had it out for 2 nights. Both nights it got rained on, so it just wasn't nothing coming to it. I also think I'm making some mistakes with the way I do my dirt holes. I don't think I'm doing them deep enough. They recommend 8 to 12 inches. I'm doing maybe 6. Ground super hard, a lot of rocks and roots, so it's hard to get the auger on the drill to cut through some of that stuff. We're heading back over to these other sets that I showed you yesterday to see if there's anything there, but I just really don't think there's gonna be. Like I said, it started in raining this morning at like 4:30, so maybe something got up in one of the traps before the rain. But I did have something pretty weird happen just a little bit ago on my way down here. There were some turkeys roosting up in this tree, and I seen a streak go by about 40 yards out, and it looked like a coyote, maybe a fox, but whatever it was spooked the turkeys and made them fly off. And I've been seeing some fresh canine tracks back there, but I'm not sure. They may have been there before the rain. They definitely weren't there yesterday. But so I've got these 2 traps to check, and then I've got 2 raccoon traps up on this ridge over here that we'll grab on the way back through. But I'm also gonna do, in that video yesterday I mentioned I would do a video on my backpack and the contents that's in it, my gear. So after we check these 2 traps, these 2 coyote traps, on the way back down by the creek bottom, I'll stop and we'll go over the content that I have in my bag. Mostly trapping stuff. There are some things in there that aren't directly trapping related, more survival, or I guess you could say. So this is the only hold up with this pack. You get hung up on shit. Anyways, not everything in the pack is trapping related. Some of the stuff is camping / survival related. Being out here, you never know what's going to happen. Nothing has ever happened, but it's just better to be prepared. So I'm about to cut off down into the valley down here. Hang out with me. Finally made it down here to this far ridge where these 2 coyote sets are set. Not hearing a whole lot of commotion, so pretty much already can guess that this first one isn't going to have anything in it. Nope. It looks like nothing's even been at it, which that sucker's been in the ground for like 6 days now, so we're gonna go ahead and pull it after we check this one down here. This one don't have anything. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it too, and that'll leave the 2 raccoon traps and the other predator trap that I've got set up by the raccoons. Doesn't look like anything's been here last night. either. Like I said, I kind of figured with the way it's rained, ain't nothing gonna be out moving, and so yeah, that trap bed's super wet. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbed this trap and unbed that trap, and then the next segment will be the pack segment, so stay tuned. Okay, so got those traps up on the ridge over there. They were like over there somewhere. I got them pulled, got the earth anchors up. Now I'm back down here. I found a flat spot along this little creek, if that's what you want to call it. But I found this pretty nice flat spot right here. Did a couple B-roll shots. And so now we'll go over the pack contents. You can see here on the outside, I have the traps. I have one Duke number 2, and then 2 550s, and then 2 earth anchors. And so yesterday I mentioned that depending on what you're going to be doing, will depend on how heavy your pack is. When I started this morning, it was pretty light. But since I'm pulling traps today, what I'll be carrying back to the house is considerably heavier than what I started with this morning. So we'll go ahead and start by taking these traps off. I'll lay these to the side. And then you can see here in the side pocket, this is a snare pole. I made this snare pole. It actually breaks down, and you can extend it to full length like so. And then the loop up at the top can be made big enough to fit around a coyote's head if need be. I'm not sure why anyone would want to release a coyote, but there's the snare pole. By Georgia state law, you are required to have a, they call them choke poles, snare poles, catch poles. You'll see several different names for them. You can buy them. They range anywhere from $40 to $140. I had this stuff laying around the house to make one, so I did. I keep this garden trowel, just a basic $4 garden trowel from Home Depot. It's actually perfect for digging the earth anchors back out of the ground. As I mentioned before, the earth anchors are designed to be, as they say, disposable, which means you're supposed to be able to leave them there in the dirt. A lot of guys will dig down a few inches, snip the loops off with a pair of dikes, and then cover the hole back in. I choose to try to take the time to dig them back out of the ground, save some money. Pack of 6 of them is like 20 bucks, so I haven't lost any yet. I left one at a trap site earlier, just because it's a very good site location, and I will probably be back there if I get a chance to trap this year. So on this side, I have my trap gun. This is it's a 22. I've posted some other things about it. I'm not going to go over it in detail today, but it is a 22 long rifle. It is also required by state law to carry a 22 long rifle calibered gun with you, whether it be a handgun or a rifle. I choose rifle. I can hunt other game with it when I'm out, rabbit, squirrel, whatever's in season. It has a scope on it so I can reach out if I need to. It also has its own kit in the stock that I've created. I'll go over that in the video that I do about the gun. So that's all the outside components. We'll move up to this top pouch here. A lot of people call this top pouch the brain, especially in the hiking community. This is actually a hiking pack. I've owned this pack for 10 years. It's an external frame JanSport Carson 80 liter. I've hiked many miles of the AT with it. As you can see, the Blood Mountain arrowhead there, from when I went over Blood Mountain, one of the times I went over. It's just been, this pack's been hanging in my building for probably a year or better now, just collecting spider webs. So I decided to go ahead and use it as a trap line pack. It works out well being able to put my gun there and not have to have it falling off my shoulder the whole time. Adjustable hip bands. The shoulder straps are adjustable. And so this is also a bucket style. It's got a solid ring around, and then everything fits down on the front. So you can shove everything down in from the top, or you can access it from the front. So one of the most valuable bags that I keep in this bag is rest here in the top. So as you can see, I have a pair of gloves, and then I have this bag, and then I have some plastic bags down in there that can be used for various things. Mostly I will use them when I butcher meat from an animal I harvest. So I'm gonna open this bag here, and I'll get back with you in just a second. Okay, so I got the bag opened and I've got everything laid out. I'm using the gloves just kind of keep stuff dry. So in this bag I keep all the things that could be or would be essential if I were to get lost and have to spend the night in the woods. So here I have a 10,000 mAh battery bank with a spare charger. This is a Type-C USB. It will charge my cell phone and my GoPro in the event that I run out of GoPro batteries. This here is a fire kit. I have it double or triple bagged. I have several different forms of tinder, several different forms of ignition. I have lighters, of course. I have a ferro rod. I have dry grass tinder. I have cotton balls and Vaseline. I also have some lint in there. I also have some fat wood or fat lighter shavings to start a fire. I could probably start 3 or 4 fires, but with the next fire mentality, you could use charred material from the first fire you start, and you should not use all of your material there. I have this form of light, just a small 200 lumens Duracell with the flashing feature. First aid kit. Inside of the first aid kit I have many different bandages. I have different creams and ointments and triple antibiotics. I have MSR water purification tablets. I also have purification iodine tablets made by Coleman as a backup to my water purifier. I have spare cordage. This is actually a 8mm cordage from my climbing bag that I don't use anymore. It was a cordelet. Then I have 1100 paracord here, wrapped in a hair bow. You can never not find a use for a hair bow. I have this old timer knife with a goat hook on it. This is the knife that I use to clean all of my animals with. It stays razor sharp. After every animal, I resharpen it back to shaving hair capability. I keep a knife sharpener in my bag in case I have to hang and skin an animal in the woods. I don't want to carry it that far. And then I have this Coast headlamp that is 600 or 700 lumens. I can't remember. It's got 3 different settings. It also has the red light setting. And this is just a bag that I keep in the top for quick access. It could get me through a few nights easily. So there's that. And so I'm gonna repack this bag, re-put it in the top of the bag, in top of that pack, and then we'll continue on with the video. Stay with me. Okay, so I got the I got that small green bag packed back up, put back in the top. We'll look at this side pocket right here next. I have a 32-ounce Nalgene in here that I keep pre-filled with water before I leave the house. Very rarely do I drink it, but I refresh it every day just so that I have it. I'm sorry guys, I know I'm all over the place here. And then in this bag on this side, I have another smaller bag. This is a Field and Stream bag. And so I'll go ahead and lay the contents of this bag out like I did the last one, and we'll go over it. Okay, I got the contents of this bag laid out. Talking a little quieter now. You may be able to hear it in the video, but I've got some turkeys moving in on me from up that valley right there. Sounds like they're probably coming down to the water. But so this bag that I took out of the side pocket, this is actually trap line stuff. I have a pair of pliers here and the screwdriver, mainly for setting pan tensions and being able to adjust those on the fly. Got a couple different heads in the end of the screwdriver here. The pliers will also double as a tail stripper when you're skinning the animals. And then I have 2 carabiners with a pulley and this pre-tied paracord. This is so that I can hang the pulley from a tree and use these as a gambrel, and then this would go through this long string would go through the pulley and then attach to the carabiner, and I could hoist the animal up into the tree out in the woods and do any skinning or cleaning, butchering work that I need to do without having to hike the animal over a mile back. And then here I just keep a folding saw. Nothing special. It does lock, so I like that. It's been used a lot. It's just a cheap $8 Ozark Trail brand from Walmart. I've been looking to try to figure out how to sharpen the teeth on it. If anybody knows, feel free to let me know. If not, I'll probably just end up buying another one. They're cheap enough. So this is a pretty quick grab bag in the side pocket of the large bag so that I don't have to go digging around for it. Pack this back up. We'll move on to the next part of the pack. Okay, so got that bag packed back up, packed back in the bag. I went ahead and opened the front main compartment of this bag and got out the knee pads so that I can get down on one knee and show you all what's inside this bag. Most every trapper you'll watch, you'll see them, they'll either nail down on a piece of cardboard or a bucket lid, or they'll have a cushion or something. These knee pads are $8. They're hard shelled. I imagine they would last a long time. I hope they'll last a few seasons. If they don't, they were only $8. So inside the main compartment, I just recently got this trap hammer. A lot of people call it a groundhog. I just call it a hammer. It's got the flat piece on the front for digging. Then it's got this hole in the back to make dirt hole sets. The handle, I guess, is probably 14-15 inches long, so you could actually get a good deep dirt hole. And then you have this block of steel for driving earth, anchors or stakes or whatever. So this is actually, so far, has been a very useful tool. Pan sifter. I mentioned yesterday that I started out carrying a bucket with wax dirt, and I would use the wax dirt into the pan sifter, pre-sift it in the bucket, and then it made it even easier to do once we got out here. We're not experiencing freezing temperatures right now. For whatever reason, it's oddly warm for the end of January. It's 70 degrees yesterday, about 60 today. So really, I just use the dirt that I dig up, and it keeps me from having to carry the bucket and hurt my back, and it's just a lot faster. So down here in the bottom, I keep a spare trap in case one of the traps I have out on the line was to be damaged or infixable. I could just go ahead and swap it right out and not sit and fiddle with trying to fix a trap in the middle of the woods. Down here I keep all baits and lures. This bag actually is pan covers and nails. A lot of guys use fence and staples. I have the nails, I'll use them. I have this bait and lure divided up into different bags. So this is a vegetable oil container that I saved. I keep it filled with dog food and corn. This is perfect homemade bait lure for dog-proof traps for raccoons. That's basically the only thing I've caught. Both of the raccoons that I've killed now and the other 4 that I've released have all been on corn and dog food and a dog-proof. Now, I do have this bag, which has Lennon's fresh fish oil. It's supposed to be an attractant for raccoons. I don't know if it works. I've used it, no luck. I also keep tuna, and generally or usually I have sardines, and I get both sardines and tuna in oil, and it will help. That also being in oil will help get the area smelling like super fishy to draw in the raccoons. This bag is my predator bag, mostly for coyotes. This is a tube that had ketone sticks in it. Both of my kids are diabetics. The ketone sticks was empty, so now I keep it full of Q-tips. Perfect for getting lures and baits down into the holes. Fox Peak Outdoor Supply, 100% coyote urine. Fox Peak Outdoor 3-meat Supreme Predator Bait, Fox, Coyote, Raccoon, Bobcat. I actually used this and the coyote pee and the triangle of death on the last coyote I caught. The other traps I had out with this stuff didn't work. Bag of sheep's wool to cover your meat, your bait in, and then also to give a visual attractant. Long call lure, I couldn't tell you if it works or not. I put it on all the coyote sets, and then coyote magnet and also fox magnet. I don't know if it works either. Both the coyote and fox magnet, the distance lure, and the 3-meat Supreme is what I use in the triangle of death, and it's produced twice. So I would assume that they work, but I couldn't be 100%. So that's actually everything to do with this pack. Not a whole lot to it, not a whole lot going on with it. Like I said, just baits, lures, trapping supplies, hammer, spare trap, pan sifter, and then like I said, I pulled all of these traps today. So I have those, the auger. Not a whole lot going on there. I have enough supplies here that if I were to get lost out in these woods, that I could survive very easily overnight. No questions asked. But I mean, right now I'm probably a mile, give or take, from that direction, which would be northeast from my cabin. Pretty thick woods, as you can see in front of me. There's no established hiking trails, none of that. This is all bushwhacking, but it's very easy to get turned around out here. It hasn't happened to me yet, but it did happen to my brother who was walking with me. He got all turned around. And that just goes to show how easy it is just to wander in the wrong direction. Worst case scenario, probably a mile to 2 miles that way is where they've clear cut. You can kind of see the opening in the trees over there, so you could always walk that direction, and then once you get to the clear cut, walk the clear cut back up to the fire break, and then walk the fire break back around. But I'm gonna go ahead and pack this bag completely back up. I've still got a few more raccoon sets to check. So I'm gonna end this segment here on the pack it back up, and I'll get back with you whenever I make it to the raccoon sets. All right, so we finally made it about 3/4 of a mile, 2 valleys and 2 ridges up. I have one more predator set and then 2 more raccoon sets. And I can see from here, I don't think the predator set caught. I originally set it for bobcat, really close to my deer feeder and really close to the raccoons. Probably wasn't a smart idea. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and pull it. If the 2 raccoon sets are still there and not triggered, and there's corn or the bait's still there, I'll probably leave them for tomorrow, just one more night. Raccoons are pretty quick and easy to clean. I could do it tomorrow, no problem. But that's a pretty heavy traveled trail. It's been traveled sometime this morning after the rain. You can see where the leaves and stuff are turned up, where they were dragging their hoofs. Most likely deer. There's a lot of deer right in this valley. Got a little mice or mouse living in that hole. This hole keeps getting bigger and bigger. So here's that last predator set, and you can see nothing's been here. I got the stuff that's supposed to be visual attractants for the bobcat. Just glancing from here, I don't think my raccoon sets are triggered, but bear with me. I'm gonna clean up this set, pull my trap, and then we'll go on up there and check the raccoon sets. Got that set cleaned back up. Actually a little faster than what I thought. I couldn't remember. I thought I had an earth anchor in there. Actually just ended up, I had it was anchored to that tree. So pretty quick, dig the trap up, grab the anchor off the tree, and now we can be on our way up to these raccoon sets. And we're not far from the cabin now, so like I was saying, if these sets haven't been triggered, which I'm not hearing any animals or seeing anything, then we may just leave them. I can jump right down here tomorrow, pull them if they haven't been triggered. And so I see the dog proof up there. It definitely hasn't been triggered. Here is I have a Berkeley 1.5 in there. It's in the ground with a actual anchor stake that I made. In that other video I put out, I was talking about the Duke #1 long spring trap. This is where I had it triggered twice, missed something both times, so I swapped it in for one of those Berkeleys. And I got fish oil there, tuna in water also leaking the oil down, or tuna in oil also leaking the oil down. The raccoons come around here, got them on that trail camera about at least once a week, so it's another one of the reasons why I like having the traps in the ground for several days. And here's the dog proof. Same scenario that I've been having the last couple times I've been down here. I filled this dog proof up overflowing with corn and dog food yesterday, or the day before when I set it, and then sprinkle a little bit of corn around it. Something comes and eats about halfway down on that dog proof. I don't know if it's squirrels or there's a little rat that I get on my camera that's got a home over there, or what it is. But we'll leave these two to come and check tomorrow. I've got corn and stuff and more salt blocks up at the house. I need to bring down fresh memory card. There's not a card in it right now for the deer. But I'm been trying to trap these raccoons and these squirrels out of here. Try to manage this place a little better. They're costing me an arm and a leg on my corn bill every month. But pretty soon I'm going to get a tripod feeder to put right there, and it's going to be on a timer. We'll only put out a certain amount of corn at a certain time every day. Hopefully I can get these deers to start coming in during the daytime. The only deer that I've seen hunting out of this area in the daylight hours was the deer that I shot. The rest of them, I mean, I can leave the camera out here for 4 days and have 1,000 pictures, and I've got 7 or 8 large does, big 9-pointer, big 8-pointer. They all come in after dark, never fails, 7 o'clock and later. It's between 7:30 p.m. and 4:30, 5 o'clock a.m. Rarely do you get pictures on that camera of a deer down during the daylight. So hopefully that tripod feeder will help that out. And so I was talking about earlier that it was 60 degrees, and then as you go your pack gets heavier, So my pack's probably up around 40 pounds now, and I would actually guess the temperature to be more around the 70-degree mark again. I've had to come out of layers. I've got my big jacket off, packed down in the pack, and got my flannel rolled up. Trying not to sweat too horribly bad. It's not a huge deal since I'm going to be staying at home tonight and I'm going to be camping, but it's always good practice to make sure you layer up so that you can pull layers as you warm up throughout the day. If you are camping, you won't be too sweaty and then get too chilled too fast. And it's just a practice that I keep with me no matter what I do. But we're about back up to the road here at the cabin, so that's it for this video. I got that was you know, yesterday I was talking about how long it takes. I've been out on the trap line since 10 o'clock this morning, and it's 1:45 now, and that all this was walking and pulling traps. I did stop for about 40 minutes to do the video of the backpack, but other than that, you see it.